Ladies and gentlemen, John Durham is demanding 1,455 documents withheld by Fusion GPS under claimed attorney-client privilege. They can't withhold all those documents. And he's investigating, obviously, the DNC. So John Durham, the Durham Probe Special Counsel, is investigating the DNC, Hillary for America, the official name for the Clinton campaign, Fusion GPS, and the DNC and her campaign have also withheld a number of documents. And I'll read you a New York Post article. John Durham demands docs from DNC Hillary Clinton campaign Fusion GPS. They obviously don't want to give the documents because it's going to incriminate them. They broke the law. You cannot obtain dirt on your political opponent, which is what they accuse Trump of doing all the time, which he doesn't do. There's enough corruption within the Democratic Party. Trump doesn't need to pressure anyone. It's written now that Trump pressured Zelensky, and he never did. President Zelensky then in 2018 or 2019 stated he was never pressured. The predecessor, his predecessor also stated, Poroshenko, that he was never pressured. So none of these people were pressured. We were so petrified that anyone would look into Biden's obvious pay-to-play schemes within Hunter's emails that they said, "Oh my God, he's trying to ask another country for help, and he withheld military assistance." Like, no. They got the military assistance. They received the military assistance within the transcript. There was never any, hey, if you don't do this, therefore you will not get any assistance. There was an ellipsis. They said, aha, that's what he meant. With Hunter's emails where it says, how can you use your influence? Like, he's asked, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? Like, he's literally asked how he can use his family name on behalf of another company that's paying him, a corporation from another country. Democrats say, well, you can't prove anything. That doesn't mean anything. And then he gives 10% to the big man, referring to his father, the vice president at the time, Joe. Oh, you can't prove anything. You can't prove anything. But with an ellipsis, Trump, oh my God, he meant that. And because a lot of really intelligent people said he did. Well, there's a lot of really intelligent people that say Hunter and Joe and James, the vice president and current president's brother, engaged in nonstop corruption. But anyway, Durham demands a DNC Hillary Clinton Fusion GPS documents, 1,455 documents. In a 23-page filing this week, Durham asked that a federal judge order the documents to be handed over for in-camera review, arguing that the privilege claim lacks, quote, any connection to actual or expected litigation or the provision of legal advice. You can't claim attorney-client privilege when the people hiring you, like the attorneys hired Fusion GPS to compile the Steele dossier, set up and frame Trump, spread the dossier through government channels and government agencies to then investigate, to begin investigations of Trump. You can't claim attorney-client privilege when the attorneys are also engaged in the illegal act of trying to deceive government officials. Doesn't work that way. You can't claim attorney-client privilege if the attorney is actually also committing crimes, or if the law firm is committing crimes. In this case, both did. There was nothing on Trump, so hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe, tell your friends about this channel. We're almost at 196. We're actually not that far away from 196,000 subs. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. For the next year, you're not only going to have Trump Republicans, not Paul Ryan, not the Paul Ryan with the 20-pound dumbbell, okay? You're going to have Trump Republicans. Completely different ballgame. They're going to all they're going to do is investigate, which is just fine. That's what Democrats did. Hopefully they'll protect and save this country, especially our economy, which is we're heading into a recession because Biden's mismanagement. We're going to experience a devastating stock market crash. I wrote about this in the Federalist. Read the article below in the pinned comment. We're seeing the foundation or the basis for everything that I predicted in the stock market and in the economy. In October of 2021, I wrote in the Federalist, we're heading towards a disaster. And that is below in the pinned comment. The stock market crash channel's below in the pinned comment. My Patreon is below in the pinned comment if you want to support my work. Best thing you could do if you enjoy this channel is tell your friends, subscribe, but tell your friends about this channel, anyone who might enjoy my viewpoint. So I'll just read you this. In a 23-page filing this week, Durham asked that a federal judge order the documents be handed over. In his request, Durham revealed that out of 1,455 documents withheld by Fusion GPS, only 18 emails attached actually involve an attorney. So, look, when they say the walls are closing in on all of these people. Okay, you already have 3 indictments. The 3 indictments, you might say, well, who's Kevin Kleinsmith or Michael Sussman or Igor Danchenko? He's not going to end. I always stated John Durham needed political will. He'll get that with Trump Republicans in the House and the Senate. People say, well, what's the Trump Republican policies? Well, you know what? I can go through the Trump Republican policies, many of which, unfortunately, we can't really talk about. But just because we have wonderful, First Amendment, freedom of speech is actually fantastic in this country. It's beautiful. If they only investigate Democrats in the manner that Democrats tried to investigate Trump, that would be fantastic. They say, well, what are your policies? Well, what are Democratic policies? You have inflation through the roof, gas prices through the roof. We're heading into a recession, so you have skyrocketing energy costs, and food prices are at all-time highs. So tell me what Democratic policies are. And you could say, well, other countries are experiencing the same thing. Yeah, other countries who did exactly what we did in the past 2 years. 2.5 years or so. What's the common denominator? Oh, yeah. They were run by wonderful liberal Democrats or people who abided by the ideology or the economic viewpoint or the political viewpoints of wonderful liberals throughout the world. They were run by liberal politicians, or politicians who adhered to multinational organizations. The views or the advice of multinational organizations. That's why everyone experiences Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, U.S., every country that said we have to shut down the economy. It's a great policy. It's, all the experts say this. Well, now we're suffering. Every country that did that, and then every country that focused obsessively on combating climate change is now desperately trying to get as much fossil fuel, oil, gas, as possible. Literally everything they tried to do, from set up and frame Trump to protect the world by shutting down economies to obsess over combating climate change, which is an important issue, the opposite took place. Like the absolute opposite. They can't touch anything without the opposite taking place. You wanted to go. Biden came into the presidency saying, Putin's afraid of me. And now look, our president did not, he waived sanctions on Nord Stream 2, okay? And you have a situation where they asked to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and Biden said no. Then you wonder why you have a catastrophe in Europe. All of these things are taking place under Biden's watch. So you look, it's like the opposite of the past 5 years. Everything they accused Trump of doing, the opposite is, or everything they said would happen under Trump's administration, the actual opposite. The actual opposite is taking place. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. They want, if you look, the filing is the latest illegal maneuver by the special counsel head of the trial of the Perkins Coie attorney Michael Sussman for allegedly lying to the FBI in connection to the Clinton campaign when he passed information and then candidate Donald Trump to the Bureau's general counsel in September 2016. The claim relayed by Sussman that servers at the Trump organization were illicitly communicating with servers at Moscow-based Alpha Bank was amplified by the Clinton campaign to further suggest Trump was colluding with Russia. 18 U.S. Code 371. You have deceived the same people who say, oh my God, these Trumpers believe in lies. All they've done is believe in lies. They think that Bernie Sanders had a fair and neutral primary in the DNC. They think it was another country's attempt at letting us know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Nobody, I can assure you today, not one person on the planet is telling you Bernie Sanders was cheated in 2016, but me. Nobody on this planet of 7+ billion people is saying the words Bernie Sanders was cheated, but H.A. Goodman on YouTube. Nobody. Okay? And that's, when you look at, we had a great economy, great foreign policy with Trump, the media and the establishment in D.C., and the media machine that from everybody from Jimmy Kimmel to social media algorithms to the Washington Post to your favorite 4 million sub YouTube channel, they melted down when Trump won. Everybody else was happy. Even the people who complained had good lives. Even the people who didn't like Trump, their lives are much better, were much better then than now. So we had a great president with Trump. What they did was engage in a massive fraud, and they started with Bernie Sanders. You could see the DNC fraud lawsuit. A massive hoax. And these are the people who claim that they're so intelligent and so enlightened, and they don't believe in lies. They don't believe in, things that aren't fact-checked. They never fact-checked the Steele dossier. If they did, they would have realized that it was complete nonsense. Then they backtrack and they move the goalposts and they say, well, you know what, the theme was accurate. Well, no, the theme wasn't accurate. We have no clue if Russia wanted to install Trump or wanted Trump. We have no clue. Our economy was fantastic, and they didn't, when they say, they were getting what they wanted with Trump, that's why they didn't invade. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So if that's the case, thank God Trump was president, because you didn't have this catastrophe and this horrible, horrible situation. I mean, see, like the warped, they twist themselves into pretzels trying to explain their incompetence and failures. It's unbelievable. The geopolitical nightmare in Europe didn't happen under Trump because Putin was getting what he wants. Okay, well, that makes no sense at all. What about the economy? Well, Biden doesn't control gas prices. Well, he's getting sued by 12 states, including oil and gas associations, organizations. Maybe you think maybe his policies stink. That's, hopefully, climate change is important. Trump Republicans get in. Energy independence, or at least laws or policies that make it easier for oil and gas companies to operate. That doesn't mean ignoring climate change, which is what Biden is doing now. But we can go on forever. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back in about an hour.